Would you continue reading if I told you that history's most radical philosopher lived in a barrel, owned nothing, yet possessed what every married man secretly envies? Picture this: Athens, ancient Greece. While other men debated in marble halls about virtue and honor, one man sat naked in the marketplace, laughing at their delusions. His name was Diogenes, and he had cracked a code that civilization desperately tries to hide. Society whispers sweet poison into every young man's ear. Find the right woman, settle down, complete yourself. But Diogenes saw through this beautiful deception with brutal clarity. He understood that the moment you believe another person can complete you, you've already admitted you're broken. Think about it. When did wholeness become something you needed to earn through partnership? When did your value as a man become dependent on someone else's approval? Diogenes refused this narrative entirely. While his contemporaries pursued wives, wealth, and status, Diogenes deliberately chose poverty and solitude, not because he couldn't afford better, but because he recognized the true cost of comfort. Every luxury comes with invisible chains. Every commitment demands pieces of your soul as payment. He watched married men parade through Athens with their wives, speaking in hushed tones about happiness while their eyes betrayed a deeper truth. These men had traded their fire for security, their dreams for approval, their authentic selves for the role of good husband. Diogenes witnessed something that still happens today: men entering relationships as lions and emerging as lapdogs. The transformation wasn't sudden. It was a gradual erosion of self, justified by the beautiful word, love. But here's what Diogenes understood that modern men don't. Love that requires you to diminish yourself isn't love at all. It's a transaction disguised as emotion. You surrender your autonomy, your peace, your very essence, and in return, you receive temporary validation and the illusion of belonging. When people mocked Diogenes for living in a barrel, he would smile. "You live in golden cages," he'd respond, "while I sleep under infinite stars." His home had no mortgage, no maintenance, no negotiations. His relationships had no contracts, no expectations, no slow-burning resentments. Every married man Diogenes observed was trapped in an elaborate performance. They performed happiness for their wives, performed success for society, performed contentment for their children. But alone in quiet moments, their faces reveal the exhaustion of constant acting. Diogenes asked a question that terrifies every man considering marriage: what will you become in order to be loved? Because that's what marriage demands. Transformation. Not growth, not evolution, but fundamental alteration of who you are to fit someone else's vision of who you should be. Modern men enter marriage believing they're gaining a partner. Diogenes saw the truth. They're acquiring a manager, a critic, a constant reminder of their inadequacies. The woman who once found your independence attractive now finds it threatening. The confidence she was drawn to becomes arrogance she must correct. Watch how it happens. First, you modify your language to avoid conflict. Then you adjust your social circle to please her preferences. Your hobbies become negotiable. Your time becomes communal property. Your dreams get filtered through the lens of what's best for the family. Diogenes observed this pattern repeatedly. Men who once conquered battles now couldn't choose their own breakfast without consultation. Warriors became accountants of domestic harmony, their strength redirected toward maintaining someone else's emotional stability. Here's what made Diogenes dangerous to the established order. He needed nothing from anyone: no validation, no approval, no companionship to feel complete. This made him unpredictable, uncontrollable, and ultimately free. A man who needs nothing can speak truth without fear. He can walk away from any situation that doesn't serve his highest good. He can live according to his values rather than negotiating them away for temporary peace. This independence terrified society because it couldn't be controlled or predicted. Today's men face the same choice Diogenes faced: authentic solitude or comfortable slavery. Yet they're conditioned to believe that choosing solitude makes them defective, incomplete, somehow less than fully realized humans. This conditioning runs deep. From childhood, boys are taught that their worth lies in their usefulness to others. Marriage becomes a final exam in usefulness. Can you provide, protect, and perform happiness on demand? Success means a lifetime of service. Failure means social exile. When asked about the ideal wife, Diogenes replied with characteristic bluntness, "Why would I voluntarily chain myself to another person's moods, demands, and expectations?" He didn't hate women. He simply refused to organize his existence around pleasing them. This wasn't misogyny. It was clarity. Diogenes recognized that romantic relationships, especially marriage, are fundamentally about compromise. And compromise, by definition, means both parties get less than what they truly want. He chose completeness over companionship, authenticity over approval. Living like Diogenes requires courage most men don't possess. It means accepting loneliness instead of settling for connection that costs your soul. It means embracing uncertainty rather than seeking security through partnership. It means choosing yourself when the world demands you choose others. But the reward is incomparable. Complete self-ownership. Your time belongs to you. Your energy flows where you direct it. Your peace isn't dependent on someone else's emotional state. Your worth isn't determined by your ability to make another person happy. Diogenes died as he lived, alone, free, and utterly himself. No widows mourn his compromises because he made none. No children resented his absence because he was authentically present to himself. No debts bound him because he owned nothing and owed less. His legacy whispers a dangerous truth to modern men. You were born complete. The world convinced you otherwise to make you useful, manageable, controllable. But completion was never something you needed to find in another person. Every man faces Diogenes' choice eventually. Will you live authentically alone or perform happiness with others? Will you chase approval or cultivate self-respect? Will you build a life that serves your deepest truth or construct a comfortable prison called marriage? Diogenes chose freedom. The question is, what will you choose? Remember, a man who chooses himself isn't selfish. He's honest. And honesty, as Diogenes proved, is the rarest and most radical act of all. The barrel may have been small, but the man inside it possessed something infinite, absolute sovereignty over his own existence. This ancient rebel's message echoes through millennia because it strikes at something fundamental. In a world obsessed with connection, he championed disconnection. In a society that worships partnership, he celebrated solitude. In a culture that promises completion through others, he declared himself already whole. The marketplace where Diogenes once sat may be gone, but his challenge remains. Every morning, modern men wake up and face the same choice he did. Will you live for yourself or perform for others? Will you build your kingdom or become a subject in someone else's? Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.